Now, the agency responsible for communication and telecoms at the UN has pointed out that the continent is falling behind in the global internet rush. Around the world, 5.5 billion people are believed to be online in 2024. That's 227 million more than last year and 68% of the world's people. But the digital reality across Africa, though hugely varied between countries, overall has huge holes, with an average figure being just 38%. Now, Cosmas Zavarava, as well as being the man with the coolest name I've encountered, is also the director of the Telecommunication Development Bureau at the ITU. He helps set out the landscape for us. Cosmos, first of all, so you heard what I said there. Give us a bit of a sense of the big picture. What's holding Africa back, and which countries, despite this, are turning out to be pretty digitally robust?
Well, thank you very much for having me. There are a number of factors that account for the lack of connectivity in Africa. Some of them related to the diversity of Africa. As you know, out of the 46 least developed countries, 26 of them are from Africa. And out of the 15 landlocked developing countries that have limited access to undersea cables, the majority of them are in Africa. And that's a constraint. We have 32 countries across the globe that are landlocked, and 15 of them are in Africa. And then there are other factors like network coverage. In Africa, we have very limited 5G coverage, whereas in other regions, it is massive and readily available. We also have an issue of urban-rural divide, and affordability is another factor. Gender divide is also critical. Skills divide also accounts for lack of connectivity in Africa.
So you mentioned the gender divide there. So of those people who are actually getting online, it looks like there's the difference between the genders is pretty stark. 43% for men, 31% for women. What do you put that down to? And is there any cost to that difference?
Absolutely. So about between 80 or 70 and 80% of the population in rural areas are women. The majority of them are women, and connectivity in rural areas is very, very limited. So they become victims because of those circumstances. Affordability also, because they hardly earn much. They cannot afford to be connected. So that pretty much accounts for this divide between men and women. Digital skills also limited literacy in terms of using complicated information and communication technologies also contributed to this lack of parity in terms of gender.
Now, so what will it take to change? I mean, bearing in mind that Africa is increasingly projected to take up more and more space and a more important role in the global economy, connectivity is going to be crucial in making that happen. What do you think is needed to improve online access for the continent?
Well, quite a number of factors are critical. First and foremost, on the bright side, Africa is the youngest continent, and obviously there is a demographic dividend because according to our statistics, those between the age of 15 and 24 are the most active online.
So it's already changing.
It's already changing, but I think policy intervention and regulatory intervention that do not stifle private sector and industry innovation, but tilted towards supporting, of course, the importation of devices and the use, of course, without overcharging by the private sector. Another issue is attracting investment into the sector. That is very critical. Promoting innovation is also very important, but capacity building and skills development are very important. So I think the future is bright. There is political will on the continent, and certainly we are going to see things happening.
Thank you so much. Cosmas Zavarava there on the state of play when it comes to connectivity across Africa.